Alright, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to say Barakatah, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, and salutations to the sincere Akiam that pushed this truth in all due diligence and sincerity. A quick economic update in regards to everything that's taking place within the United Kingdom. The divided kingdom, really and truly, it should be newly dubbed, because this place is absolutely through, man. It's falling apart at the seams. Now, the politicians, the ruling class of Esau Edom society are gonna make it look accidental, but we know, pursuant to Revelations, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse, being not ignorant to Satan's devices, that the end goal is for everybody to be chipped, man. Like Aaron Russo got from the Rockefellers, man. Like, the end goal is for everybody to receive the RFID chip technology, yeah, as the only method of buying and selling. So we know that off the bat, the end goal is for everyone to be chipped. Now, we're living in a situation where, an assimilation where, I should say, Esau Edom is crashing the economy, but making it look accidental. Like, here in the UK, the political parties are the Conservatives and the Labour Party. Yeah. Now, the Conservatives have long been known as the party for the upper class, the party of the rich. They're like over 70, now probably even 80, if not 90% of their funding comes from the small hats and individuals in the city of London and large corporations from the city of London. So, as a result of them winning the election and having been in power for 14 years previously, they had to do things and pass laws to benefit those that gave them the financial backing for their campaigns. You had a run of 5 prime ministers, from David Cameron, who initiated the Brexit fuck up. You had Theresa May, the awkward Edomite woman that did the robot and went viral and took a lot of flack for mishandling Brexit after it was done. You had Boris Johnson, absolute comedian, cramp twin, like clown of a prime minister, but he was educated in Eton, so he is smart. You had Rishi Sunak. Sorry, you had Liz Truss. You had Liz Truss after Boris Johnson. So you had Liz Truss, the lady that crashed the economy and only lasted in power 49 days. And she had a actually a Ghanaian chancellor, like in charge of the budget, a guy called Kwesi Kwarteng, a Ghanaian individual that was in charge of the country's finances, and he was the fall guy. After them, you then had Rishi Sunak. You know, his exterior is that of a Elamite, but a brother's been saying that he could be an Amalekite. He might be a Edomite in Elamite flesh, you know. And now you've got Keir Starmer from Labour, so Labour have finally taken it over. Now, within the scriptures anyway, in our law, in the Torah, it tells us explicitly that we should not set a heathen king over us. In fact, the Lord has to choose who the leader of the people is, man. And there is no democratic process. Now, pursuant to Jeremiah the 10th chapter, we're also instructed to learn not the way of the heathen. Well, guess what? You had Jake out there, and Jake been voting Labour, because Labour, the red party, Conservatives the blue, but Labour, the red party, have been the party of the people for years. Yeah, where like the party of the working class. But then what it is with the small hats agenda with Iran and Israel, that's literally been like they don't even hide it no more, that both parties, regardless of their illusion of choice, are working for the same people. They've literally just stripped all the veil back and made it clear that they're funding both sides, because Keir Starmer's in for Labour and he's already funneling all sorts of money over there to the small hats in Israel, man. Because at the end of the day, whether you're red, whether you're blue, whether you're Labour, whether you're Conservative, whether you're in America and you're a Republican or a Democrat, you are still ultimately voting in the politician that is serving the agenda of the elites. It all goes back to the elites, the small hats, and the ruling families. Here we have the Rothschilds in America, they got the Rockefellers, brothers are dealing with the Rockefellers over there, and you got the various different elite bloodline families, man, that go back to Amalek being the chief of Esau, Edom, and they are crashing the economy, man. They, like, regardless of whether conservatives stayed in power here or if Labour continue on, because there's a whole load of mix-up about the Reform Party and this individual called David Lammy as well, and power of social media and the youth voting in a new leader in this blatantly this open, they're all racist, but it's openly racist Edomite. The UK is sinking, man, and the reason the UK is sinking is what I really want to go into, because ultimately, the scripture tells us, 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved, a workman rightfully dividing the word of truth, man. Now that applies to the scriptures, but when you study these scriptures, you get into a lot of other matters. You get into history, you get into finances, you get into geography, herbs, and the financial structure in the UK is one whereby what am I saying? Inflation is currently increasing. Reason being is that the government during the CV crisis, let's call it that, printed loads of money. They pumped money into the economy through stimulus, through the Eat Out to Help Out scheme, all of the bullshit they were doing. Now, people being stupid for, more money into the system. Great, but what they don't realize is that increased the velocity and the amount of money being and the amount of money in the system at any one given time, and it also increased the velocity. Once when people had that money, but it was just in their bank accounts, there wasn't inflation because it wasn't in the system being exchanged for goods. As soon as people came out their house and they started going out to the Eat Out to Help Outs, and the Uber Eats delivery started, and people were out there in the bars having drinks and all the rest of it, inflation started to kick in, man. And then you had the war in Ukraine as well. It's the situation between Russia and the Ukraine over there, and the West funneling money, printing money and throwing it out there to the weapons manufacturing companies so that they can produce more weapons and bombs for Ukraine. You then also had the war in Israel the war in Palestine between the people who've got on the Gaza Strip and Israel, and a lot of money being funneled out into that also. So a lot of money in a short space of time has been pumped out into the economy, and you're talking billions, if not trillions. On top of that, you then have a situation whereby currently, on top of printing all of that money and throwing all of that stimulus out there and sending money and international aid to these foreign nations, you've got a situation whereby in the UK, you got a situation here in the UK whereby the current Chancellor Rachel Reeves, of the Labour government, basically increased employer national insurance. So here in the UK, when you get employed by a company, your employer has to pay a national insurance contribution before you even see your paycheck. Then you pay employees national insurance as well as income tax. So let's say your income tax, the standard rate typically is 20%. So let's say you pay 20% income tax. You then have to pay circa 8-9%. Let's call it 10% to keep the math simple in terms of national insurance. So that's 30%. Now, back a couple months back, your employer would then, even before you pay those contributions, pay like a 13.5% national insurance, employer's national insurance premium on your wages. Now, the government set it to where that's now 15%, and rather than paying it at when your salary is circa 9,000 and some change, when the payments start, they've drawn it back to as low as 5,000. So any employee that any company has that earns more than £5,000, they've got to pay a 15% tax to the government before you get your salary. So in order to do that and meet the minimum threshold that they've got to pay people, they're having to increase salaries. And as a result of that, there's a lot less jobs in the economy, because companies are now finding it more expensive to even hire basic staff for like the ground and foundation level type of roles. So rather than put themselves in a situation where they got to pay out more. A lot of companies are just effing saying fuck it and just not hiring, man. Or they're taking their operations offshore to places like Poland and China and India and the rest of it, like call centers and all of those types of jobs. And you have a situation here in the UK where the majority of people are stupid. So the only thing that was getting them by was those, you know, those typical customer service roles where they pick up the phone like, yeah, right, love, yeah, you know, yeah, great day we're having, innit? Cold weather, yeah, all the rest of it. And then, you know, people will do those types of roles for 30, 40, 50 years and retire. Now you have a situation where a lot of those companies are taking those roles offshore. So the people in the UK are feeling hella disgruntled because either those roles that they had are now being taken internationally by other heathen, or you got it to where, or you know, even sometimes Jake in other countries, or you have a situation whereby they come here and get the jobs, or they're just getting scrapped. And then on top of that, you got it to where a lot of companies, on top of not hiring for roles, are also increasing prices. So companies are having to increase prices, they're not hiring for roles, and over 60% of companies feel like they don't have any sort of trust in the economic certainty of the UK. And that's according to reports that have been published according to the Financial Times and a variety of other news outlets. So guess what? The UK is losing a lot of infrastructure. A lot of international firms that would have invested in the country are now losing faith in it. And you got it to where people are on the picket lines because goods are going up in price. Like, you know, their weekly shops going up in price. When they want to go out to restaurants and eat and have entertainment and all that other shit, it's going up in price. And so they're demanding pay rises. People are not savvy to the fact that if you have a damaged economy and you increase everybody's pay, all that does is cause more inflation, because you just then have a large velocity of money being pumped through the system. The real way to fix it, unfortunately, for the people on the lower bottom, unless you're going to have debt forgiveness like we have in the scriptures, like the year of Jubilee, is that the people at the bottom just have to suffer. Some people just have to fall off, and then eventually things will cool down. You know, you might have a large wave of homelessness. Now, of course, optically that doesn't look good, but that is the way to fix it. But these devils are out here saying, oh yeah, you know, we see the train drivers protesting and the Royal Mail protesting, and the fact that we sold it to the Czech Republic, even though it's supposed to be His Majesty's Royal Mail Service and all the rest of it. And so we're going to give these people pay rises. And then they have it's always like smoke and mirrors. They have a tussle and bustle. And then eventually the government agrees to give these people what they want, which is more money. And then you just go through this constant annual cycle of, you know, salaries increasing to beat inflation. The Bank of England has a 2% inflation target annually, because they want to essentially make sure that the money, well, they're not even making sure, but they're giving you the impression that they're making sure that your money is keeping up with the continuous rise in the price of goods. But things are going up in price fast, man, consistently. And ultimately the price of borrowing, even for the country itself, the UK, when it issues out bonds and gilts to it is again going up incredibly fast. So you got a situation whereby the UK itself is struggling in terms of acquiring capital to then deploy within the system through the Bank of England. You got it to where the Bank of England is then also going to have to keep their interest rates high, because ultimately they want to try and deter people from going out and spending more money in the economy. So, and they want to keep people having to spend money on things like mortgages with high interest rates to make sure that the economy cools down. You got situations where even when people have a bit of disposable income, it's expensive out there. You go to a restaurant like Five Guys. I went there, ordered a burger, fries and a drink. Came up to like £17, basically £17.52, £20 for a burger, fries and a drink in Five Guys in 2025. That's the level of deterioration against the British pound. Now the British pound is currently falling to its lowest level in over 27 years. yeah, in terms of its buying power against the dollar, because of the fact that people have low trust in the UK economy and its ability to repay its debt, you know. And that's ultimately all leading up to the chip. You see, all of these things are being done to gradually get us to a situation whereby the chip is the only answer, man. You know, the economies of these, and this, the UK, Germany is also suffering it. The UK out of the G7 is one of the worst, of course, but these nations are struggling financially and their economies are breaking down, and the answer will be the chip. The answer to all of these problems and the issues everybody is experiencing is going to be the chip. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Wisdom and knowledge, pursuant to Isaiah 33:6, is going to be the stability. Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of our times, because ultimately we understand the full gospel of Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, and even deeper, we know that the chip, pursuant to Revelations 13:16, is not Esau's chip, is Yahweh Shemi Hawashai's chip. And if the Lord don't want us fucking with that, even if Esau Edom tries to give it to you as an ultimatum with life or death, you're going to refuse it, because you understand the judgment for those that take it, pursuant to Revelations the 14th chapter, man. That fire from those nukes. Yeah. Esau Edom is creating a situation whereby the financial setup is going to be so fucked that chip is going to be the only way to get out of the situation. It might come in the form of debt forgiveness, it might come in the form of the only way to transact, but Esau Edom is going to make it to where the chip is going to be his benevolent way of saving the people, man. Yeah. And we are here to spread the message ahead of time to let Israel know the truth, man, whether they want to hear or whether they want to forbear, pursuant to Ezekiel's 2 and 3, chapters 2 and 3, round about the 7th verse onwards. You got a lot of false leaders out here not telling their congregations the truth, and Nate, Johannes of the world. But ultimately, we're here to let Israel know, man, Esau Edom is about to unleash hell. He is about to release he's about to release hell, man. He's about to let the chip loose, man, on these people. And ultimately, if you want to eat and you're outside of your Hawashai's covering, that's going to be the way that you got to get down, man. But we understand that ultimately the Lord ain't going to let us fold, man. Even through Esau Edom's fuckery and all that he's going to try and put us through, we're we be members of the elect, man. You know, brothers ain't gonna have to get down with Esau Edom's technology on the left hand side, man. Ultimately given to him by the Heavenly Father. We're gonna be provided for. Fuck Esau and his chip. We're here to tell you that RFID microchip is the mark of the beast, pursuant to Revelations the 13th chapter, that every man's gonna need to buy or sell, whether he's free or bond, great or small, man. We're here to tell you that Esau Edom is going to crash this economy. What you see happening is going to get worse. You're going to see people out there dying throughout later Jan and February, man, because they can't pay their heating bills, you know, or they can't get food off the heat in their house. You're going to have situations whereby come summer, Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, if it continues how it's continuing, unless Esau Edom kicks the can down the road a little bit, people are going to be out here homeless and destitute. Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, is going to come through in a raw way, man. People are going to be breaking into houses. They're not going to give a fuck about the politicians. They're going to feel hard done by, and they have been hard done by, but it's all by design to bring in the chip. Yeah. They're going to not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. People are going to be out here losing it. And not just, you got to understand, not everyone's just going to take the chip. You're going to even have some people outside of the truth, like some so-called Christians around the Bible Belt and in the States. You're going to have some hardcore Edomites here that ain't going to be down with it. You're going to have some other heathens, maybe the Ishmaelites, Elam and the UK here, Ham, that just ain't gonna get down with it. So Esau Edom is gonna have resistance, but his plan is to kill and lock you off the grid if you're not willing to get down with this program. They don't have Yahweh Shemi Hawashai though. We do. Yeah. So brothers, I'm here to say, get ready, man, for a year of hell. You know, it's already started rough for brothers, and Satan's out there trying to seek who he may devour. But don't let yourself fall out the truth, man. You come too far to fail now. Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, we all continue to endure unto the end. But the chip is round the corner. Esau Edom is going to crash this economy. Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, this year, but who knows, man. But very soon. Only the Lord knows, but of course, very, very soon. And you got to be ready for Esau, Edom to come down upon us, having great wrath, because you know that we have but a short time, pursuant to Revelations 12 and 12, man. Keep the faith, stay strong, Akyam, and may Yahweh Shmi Hawashai Bashmi Kadash Baraka Thumb bless you all. Shalom.